Joe Concha joins me now. Joe, the woke mob demands ideological purity even in the hard sciences. I think that's absolutely terrible. What say you?
And this shows us where the education system is going, Stu, as far as our kids. And I have a second grader, I have a kindergartner, so I'm not near the college level, but I see the future, and it's horrifying in terms of I just keep checking off the universities that I'm not going to send my kids to because I see what's being taught there, where they're not getting the basic blocking and tackling around math and science and reading, where the U.S. is currently ranked 25th in the world. Think about that for a moment. China's #1. Ireland's 11, yay, the Irish. 21st is Australia. We're 25th because we're concentrating on all this other stuff. And only one side of the perspective on XYZ is being allowed, as opposed to, as in this case that you just brought up with this professor here, he has to be ousted. You can't allow that sort of speech going. So now we have right speech and wrong speech instead of just an open forum to learn different things, different perspectives, and that's dangerous going forward because it is indoctrination at this point.
I liked your op-ed, the new one that you've written. The title is Biden and Democrats Risk Everything Unless They Follow the Clinton Pivot. What exactly is the Clinton pivot, and how could Biden follow it?
Right. Let's remember there was a Bill Clinton before there was a Hillary Clinton. So in this case, Bill Clinton in 1994, he was on this date, October 21st, 1994, he was at 41% approval. His party then takes a beating in the midterms, 54 seats lost in the House, 8 in the Senate. Democrats lose control of both chambers. Clinton then proceeded to go back to the middle and then some. Here's what he said in 1996 at the State of the Union, early that year, during that election year. We know big government does not have all the answers. We know there's not a program for every problem. We have worked to give the American people a smaller, less bureaucratic government in Washington. The era of big government is over, unquote. I mean, could you imagine Joe Biden remotely declaring something like that? No. Clinton goes on to work with Newt Gingrich. They pass welfare reform. We actually achieved a balanced budget, which is a completely foreign concept now. And again, just try to picture Joe Biden bucking AOC and the squad and the far left faction of the Democratic Party today and doing that same pivot back to the middle. It's not going to happen, Stu, and that's why we're seeing Quinnipiac this week. The president is polling at 28% approval among independents, the people that decide elections. He's at 37% approval overall. A red tsunami is coming in the midterms 1 year from now. Inflation, crime, border, Afghanistan, education, all going south for this president with no answers on the horizon, it seems.
I want to take a look at the president's actual performance when he delivers a presentation, delivers a speech. Watch this, because it seems to me the president just rambling when delivering his speech yesterday. Roll the clip, please.
You can take the boy out of Scranton, but you can't take Scranton out of the boy. The men would in fact have a big breakfast. I'd ride every day. I commuted every single day for 36 years as Vice President of the United States. The American people have never, ever, 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 ever let the country down. When you talk about the number, we shouldn't even talk about the numbers.
All right. What's your judgment of his performance, literally his performance of the speech yesterday?
Well, I look at the content more than the performance. He's never been a very good public speaker. But if we're looking at that optic, he's very awkward to watch. He goes off on these tangents where you don't quite know where he's going or why he's even bringing it up. But then he says, and this was the key takeaway, and I'm glad you had that in that particular montage, we shouldn't even have to talk about the numbers, he says. What he's talking about is his spending plan, right? This is a president that insists to the American people that $3.5 trillion in spending, and we all know, Stuart, it's more like $5 trillion when you take the gimmicks out of it, will cost the American taxpayer $0. He says this while core inflation is currently at a 30-year high. He says that spending $5 trillion more dollars, this is new money, by the way, is going to somehow reduce the debt and be a middle-class tax cut. I mean, these are things that are demonstrably false. They're lies, and he needs to be called out on it more. But he keeps going back to this talking point, and it's why, and Jason Chaffetz brought it up earlier in your show, why a majority of senators still reject this spending, because the math doesn't add up, and the president doesn't have the ability to make a coherent argument around it. And he hasn't done, by the way, a sit-down interview since before Labor Day. And the reason why is if a halfway decent journalist gets in front of him, they will press him on these talking points that he keeps putting forward. He's not going to have an answer for it, and that's why he's running the CNN and the safe space over there to do a town hall tonight instead of actually sitting down with a real journalist who could follow up on questions and ask him to be specific. Explain this, Mr. President. How does all this math add up? The answer is it doesn't. His handlers know it, Stuart.
And there is 3 more years to go. Got that. Joe Concha, we will see you again soon. Got it.